Hey, welcome back, BoatFools Nation. I'm here with Canadian Ken. We're in Union, Maine. We were driving down the road and we came across a boat that's being offered for free.
For free? This is for free?
Yeah, a 1978 Cape Dory 28. So we're gonna go check it out. It looks like it needs a little love.
But needs some love, but the question is, can you insure a boat
That's a
like
really
this?
good question, and a lot of people ask us that, and it would be nice if we had an agent to speak to.
Sure would.
Oh, hey, look, there's Paul from Compass Insurance. We're gonna go talk to a real live insurance agent and find out if we can insure this thing. And, you know, we don't know a lot about this boat, but we're gonna find out. And
I'm not sure the engine runs, but there looks like there's a bracket on the back for an engine, so it can move around. So
we're gonna talk to Paul. Looks like he's on the phone. Oh, here he is. All right, let's go speak to Paul.
Hey, so here we are, and this is Paul.
Good morning.
Nice to meet
Paul Meyer,
you.
Compass Insurance.
All right. So you're down in Waldoboro.
That's correct.
All right. So we'll have to talk to you. I've got some good questions for you to answer.
All right.
today.
I'm excited to help you.
All right. Have a seat.
Thanks for being here, and thanks for talking to us today about this boat.
My pleasure. I love going out and seeing boats.
And so tell us a little more about your company.
Sure. I formed Compass Insurance 16 years ago in Waldoboro, and I've been licensed 25 years, but I largely do marine insurance and commercial haul most primarily, so lobster fishing boats, diving operations, and I love boats, so I insure a lot of boats. I do a lot of different lines of insurance, but that's my specialty. That's where I look to grow.
Wonderful, wonderful. So in this case, we just found this free boat for sale. It's a 1978 Cape Dory 28.
Yeah.
And we're wondering, because we get a lot of questions from our viewers, is a boat like this even insurable?
A free boat for sale is a great value, huh? And so I did a proposal on this vessel with Progressive, okay, and to answering a few questions, you have to attest to its seaworthiness, and it can't exceed 75 miles per hour, okay?
Okay, no problem.
And
Not a
it's
problem there.
not a primary residence, and it's not used for any commercial purposes. Then Progressive will insure that boat, and it's a pretty competitive policy, $436
A year, and that's comprehensive.
Yeah, that's coverage on that hull for $7,500, which what we estimated the value.
Yeah.
They would not require a survey on that value or that size, and so that can be bound right now if we wanted to.
So,
wow,
that's pretty impressive.
So just to be clear, Paul, you're an independent agent, and you use various insurance carriers like Progressive and others.
Progressive, I have that is a company that is a direct appointment. Okay, Progressive, and Foremost also. American Modern Insurance Group is a direct appointment. So when we get into larger vessels of higher values and size and scope as far as the navigation area, then I have companies that I go to, and I think any good marine insurance company wants to have a good brokerage house, and I use International Special Risks regularly, but they have company access to companies like Chubb and American Modern writes with Haggerty. I have an appointment that writes with Markel, and they do either bigger boats, larger options for navigation, and then you're looking at again you're looking at surveys. And
I was going to say,
bigger scale.
Is a marine survey required?
Well, it depends. Again, it depends on the value of the boat. It depends on the size of the boat, the age in some cases. Like Markel, for example, like we were discussing the age of this boat. I mean, but they do not have an age limit with Haggerty with Markel.
Because we always recommend to get a survey, and you sort of mentioned like if there are no button points there, that kind of makes you a little suspicious because every boat's going to have some issues. You think?
Yeah, you want so on a survey, you want to have a out of water condition and value survey, ideally from a licensed, certified, in a surveyor that. You want to do some background to see that this is their thing. There are a lot of marine surveyors in a broad range of things, but some of them are just doing commercial boats, for example, or but something in this nature, and your appetite for older vessels and sailing vessels primarily, you want to have a survey by somebody that knows that kind of a vessel, but they're certified out of the water is really important. You want to, a survey. Most insurance companies aren't going to take a survey that's more than 2 or 3 years old. That's rare that they go past that age limit. You know, you gotta be the owner of that survey, so it's done for you, for your purposes. Okay, those are important things to know about a survey.
In this case, so for this boat, you wouldn't require a marine survey.
Yeah.
However, the caveat is we strongly recommend you get a marine survey.
Well, you want to know what you're getting into, really. I mean, that's, you know, I think the you know, there, like I said, that saying about if you take good care of your boat, it's like a relationship. It'll take good care of you, and if you don't take good care of it, then bad things are probably going to happen. And so you want to know the condition of the boat that you're buying, and you know, you're going to incur some cost on that, but it's better than to have the boat like sunk.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Well, and to your point, that question you have to answer, is it seaworthy? And if you're a layman, you might not know if the vessel's seaworthy, so you need that marine survey to tell you.
Well, that's the importance of a condition and value survey. Those two words are pretty, you know, specific. You know, they want to know what's the condition and then what's the value.
Yeah, and value is interesting. Is someone to buy this, say this was a $10,000 boat. There's agreed value, and then there's actual cash value. How do you look at those?
Well, yeah, and there's more than that. There's multiple other forms of settlement forms. I mean, replacement cost if you're looking at a brand new boat, really. But yeah, I mean, the cash value, the age-old, you know, definition is depreciation is subtracted from, you know, from the value, and that could add up to, you know, quite a bit. You know, that's so, you know, an agreed value is generally that is a contract that they're going to pay that value, and so. And oftentimes that may be supported or not, but if there's something that's out of the box, these companies are very diligent on asking questions. You know, if you want to insure that for $100,000, there's going to be some questions that get brought up that it's probably not going to happen.
So what's our next question for Paul here?
Well, yeah, one of the things we always talk about, especially older boats, are what exclusions or limitations are there on these type of boats?
Okay, so again, this comes down to the, you know, every company has an individual appetite on what they're looking for to write for age or for size or for value, and so you know, some common issues are the rigging, the you know, sails. You know, it's so for some companies they'll limit sails and rigging to an actual cash value only. Others like. So Chubb they want to have a certified rigging inspection that's been done, and if there's been any recommendations on that in the last 2 years, typically, this is what the contract says anyway, that those have been corrected, and generally by a certified rigging specialist. But so there are some restrictions as far as, like you said, like a wooden boat, that, you know, like again, there's some fantastically beautiful wooden boats that have their value, and you know, again, it's the condition, and this would more than likely be surveyed depending on the size. Okay, but that, I wouldn't say that a wooden boat is necessarily a hard stop for some companies. They want to know the condition of it. They want, if it's a beautiful boat, well-maintained boat, you know, I think that could probably be insured.
Yeah, great.
All right, so anyone out there who really loves wooden boats, it is possible to get these insured, and it's definitely
it is possible. There may be a premium on that.
Sure,
you might see that. Okay, but I think that for Haggerty and their Markel line, they do not have an age limit. Okay, so I mean that's
interesting.
You know, so they're looking at condition. They're focused on the experience of the pilot to who's running this boat. You know, that they take a hard look at that almost as much as the vessel itself.
Does Progressive have a age limit?
Oh, the age of the vessel. Okay, so Progressive is 50 years. They're not going older than that.
Okay.
That is. That depends. Again, it depends on the company.
And that's just Progressive. And Haggerty might take something older. And what about?
Yeah, they don't have an age limit.
They don't have an age limit at all. Okay, well, that's fascinating. Well, and would Progressive insure a wooden boat, or is that a specialty where you'd have to go to like a Haggerty or something like that?
You know, that's a great question.
Okay.
In the underwriting guidelines, I didn't see that was a restriction. Okay, but again, that would be Progressive is not first on my list, or I would go for a wooden boat. I don't think, but that's
all right. So, like you said, it's case by case.
Yeah, it is really a.
And that's why going to an agent like you versus
Yes.
as an individual trying to go to all these individual insurance agents, you go to an agent like you.
If you're trying to insure a boat just going online, I mean, I think that would be a scary process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's why we're here with you, because this is a fascinating situation a lot of people find themselves in. So
another question I had was like the boat's location, does that affect the coverage? And you were saying maybe you're down in the hurricane area in the Caribbean versus up here we've got fog and all sorts of other issues.
It's really, again, that depends on the company and their guidelines, but there's so this vessel that we just quoted here with Progressive, okay, their requirement is not to exceed 75 nautical miles from the point of land, and that is up and down the entire coast of the U.S., okay?
Wow, okay.
So
you could hop on this and take it to Florida.
So now that is, there are many companies, though, have restrictions for navigation limits, particularly during hurricane season, and some of them have a broad, they like June 1st through to November, anything south of, and it depends. Like some companies, it's like Chesapeake Bay. Some are, the outer South Carolina. You go past the Carolinas, they don't want to touch that. So it really depends on the company and their appetite. And and the size of the vessel is pretty important. I mean, a bigger boat can handle going offshore. Smaller boat's going to get beat up.
Yeah. Intended use.
Yeah. Intended use. We always talk about that. So that's sort of about the navigational limits and seasonal restrictions too. That's sort of part of that as well.
Yeah, that's that. So, I mean, most insurance companies, when you're looking at a vessel that's of any kind of value that's growing up over 50,000 or more, they want to know where the boat's going to be year round. And if some are laid up, then that's fine. Some have discounts for that. A lot of them just want to know, where is it going to be? Is it going to be secured? Is it in a
undercover?
Is it being covered? Is it what? There's a lot of. Who is the one that's responsible for the care of the vessel, even maybe just sitting in your yard?
In Maine, most of the time you're out of the water, right? You think about it.
Most of the year you're out of the water. And then to your point about who's going to be piloting the boat and maintaining the boat, you mentioned something off camera about your driving record.
That's right. Yeah. Most companies do check for motor vehicle reports. So if you're a crazy erratic driver, that is they statistically say that extrapolates out to you're a crazy erratic boat driver, or have the potential to be. So, but it affects rate. Unfortunately, that's a reality.
So for full transparency, we didn't insure through you, Paul. We went directly to Progressive, and we regret that, of course, because when we renew, we'll insure.
Well, we hadn't met you.
We hadn't met you, in all fairness.
And now we know.
Now we know better.
Well, the main thing is important is to go with someone like Paul who's a specialist, because calling directly, you're not maybe going to get the best deal.
And to be very clear, honesty is the best policy. No pun intended about policy, because if you lie or are deceitful in any way, they can
decline a claim for any misrepresentation or.
Sure. Yeah. So to succinctly wrap up everything, we've discovered that you can insure a boat of any age, any length, and for basically any type of coverage on a case-by-case scenario. And you're going to have to answer a lot of questions if you want extreme things. But if it's a boat like this, you can get it insured.
Yep, pretty simply.
Yeah,
I love it.
Right. It's really fascinating.
And you make house calls, which is really amazing.
And you have your portable desk.
That's right.
And your BlackBerry.
I meet a lot of clients out on their boats and down on their wharfs and stuff.
You do? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's where they're at. That's
right. And you're a sailor yourself.
Yeah, I love sailing.
Yeah. So there you go. So we will put Paul's contact information in the description below in case you have any additional questions or need insurance for your boat.
Yep.
And I think this has been really fascinating, because a lot of our viewers inquire about this all the time.
They've been asking about this, and this has been really comprehensive. So,
yeah.
All right.
We really appreciate it. We'll let you get back to your phone calls.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much,
Thanks a
Paul.
lot, Paul.
That was great.
Have a good day.
Wow, that was incredible. Paul, what a knowledgeable guy.
Tons of information. Great information. I mean, expanded our whole horizon on what you can do and what boats you can insure.
Exactly. So if you have any further questions, please contact Paul. He'd be happy to answer any of them. And it's just amazing what you can insure. I had no idea about, especially wooden boats. That was one of my biggest concerns. But because we do look at wooden boats from time to time. And
boats.
Speaking of please click like, please share, please subscribe to the BoatFools report. And now let's go take a look at this boat, because we know we can insure it. Let's go check it out. But you're gonna have to wait until next week to go see it. All right, let's go. Thanks, everybody.